Now looky here. A plastic mine swarming their way to the entrance to the real waterfall sector. Now don't be moving your long braids away.
I'm not done yet. and kiss me on my hot mouth. I'm feeling romantical. kiss me on my hot mouth. I'm feeling romantical.
A loaf of bread, a loaf of bread, a loaf of bread,
A loaf of bread,
a container of milk,
a container of milk,
and a stick of butter.
and a stick of butter.
I rip out your entrails to the amusement of others. I rip out your entrails to the amusement of others. I force you, day after day, into a cycle of pain and
Now this I need my mic on for. Okay, so Glitch Productions posted a new video and I want to watch it. This got recommended to me, by the way. Like, this was like recommended to me. Like, oh my god, it came out like 21 minutes ago. As of me doing this. Like, oh my god. Like, I have to be for real when I say this. Let's see.
I rip out your entrails to the amusement of others.
Okay.
I force you, day after day, into a cycle of pain and despair before I toss you
Okay.
back out into a cold, cruel world. What am I?
I'm ready to go.
Hi! Serial designation ends the name. Trying to integrate into the education system after murdering many of the students is my game. Yeah, turns out literally cutting the student body in half kinda gets you the cold shoulder. Unless you're V for some reason. So I had to get creative with my approach to befriend the locals. Ugh, it's so hard living with the fame of having 700 followers, right?
700?
1,000?
You clearly have no idea how cool that makes you. Want to hang out with us?
From that moment on, my
Okay.
status at Copper 9 High was secure. There it is.
2 followers?
Okay, so obviously Mr. Popular wasn't the right approach. But Mr.
Okay.
Unpopular... Hey, want to talk about death?
Yeah.
Dude, the freaking
Never mind.
Dude, the freaking anime
No.
thingies.
Somebody
What the
talk
heck
to
were they?
me! Until I had an epiphany. I wasn't getting anywhere as a one-man show. I needed a posse. I am not gonna start The recruits were a bit hesitant at first, but I whipped them into shape with my commanding demeanor.
Please.
How do you do, fellow scholars? Lizzie says you're not cool, and I'm a sheep, so you're right. I'm not cool. I'm really cool. Posse, back me up. What was that? Seth last him.
Hold on, let me go back like 5 seconds.
Posse, back me up. What was that?
You Seth blast him up.
You know I didn't say that.
Uh-oh, and it's just holding a bunch
Bite
of
me.
books.
What?
You don't owe this school. Who cares if they frickin' care? I say bite me. Words to live by.
Words of advice.
Bite me.
Chew on a freaking purple
Yeah.
grape.
Bite me. I could keep rattling, hoping everyone notices, but why
It's
beg
so
for everyone I want when I already
The
have
freaking
everyone
N
I
Labubu
need?
is so cute. Can it, oh.
Ugh, feelings, am I right? Anyway, new Murder Drones merch is out now. Local football hater N has new blind box pendants. Camping,
Pendants!
stupid, and
That's what
these
they
two
did.
I can't make out, but one looks rare and the other looks super rare.
Oh my
New
god.
School Spirit blind box animaties are here, featuring a
If
super
the
cool
super
football
rare
guy
one is
and
really based off
others,
of my
but
Murder
who
Drones
cares?
OC,
Wham!
which I
New
super
V2.0
doubt
anime
because
to
they've never seen
Envy
them
and
in
Uzi.
work,
Hope
like,
you
any
find
time.
someday,
They've
Mom.
never even seen
And
my
this
work in
rad
real
as
life.
hell doll and Omegas.
Then,
Finally,
like,
the good stuff.
I
This
swear.
awesome Copper 9 High varsity jacket, this awesome plush of me, and Lizzie. Get the heck over to murderdrones.store now. There's a 15% off sale going for 2 weeks, so hurry up, nerd. That out.
Okay,
Now.
for one, do not call me a nerd. Also, I'm gonna turn on my mic now.
carrying on its legacy. Slendytubbies 3 has story mode and gun. A quick disclaimer, the campaign is extremely flawful. Remember how I said in Slendytubbies 2 how it was also flawed? Okay, now I want you to times that by, I don't know, 10 billion, add no barriers, add a gun, remove all horror elements, and that's Slendytubbies 3. There are so many countless flaws within the game that if I were to talk about every single glitch, we would be here for hours. Now, I'm not gonna be too hard on these guys because not only has this game been worked on since February of 2015, the game is free. And from what I can tell, there's no ads, so this was strictly a passion project, but that doesn't stop it from being bad. Of course, it's not all bad. The music is pretty good. But the reason for my negativity about this game is just that it's just not scary. Not once was I startled, or was I screaming, or even jump scared in the entire game. Although there were some good moments, but more on that later. Before I even talk about the campaign, I need to say something first. Firstly, since my storage on my computer is all at red, I will be using gameplay made by Stormcast to use as footage. Stormcast is a pretty good channel, and the link will be in the description. And secondly, that's it. On to the story. The campaign starts with an opening scene of Po at the beach, admiring the view. As she's admiring, Nunu comes and greets her. 5 seconds into the game and we're already introduced to our first mechanic, choosing what you say. Slendytubbies 3's gameplay is mostly choosing what you say, like in the Walking Dead games. Although this isn't really a bad thing. To be honest, there's nothing really to criticize here. It's a very calming introduction to the game, and managed to have some pretty good character development for the first few minutes. When I said this game does have some good moments, this is one of them. Po eventually returns to the house, and we are now introduced to another opening shot of the mainland, showing a bunny along the way with HD gaming graphics. Shortly after that, we are now playing as our first character, Po. The first moments of the gameplay are you talking to your friends, most notably the 14-year-old depressed TikTok girl that's sad for no reason, Purple Guy, and the SoundCloud rapper. Fun fact, in the 2015 demo, everyone was 2 times more fuzzy and shiny. Thank God they removed that because it didn't really look good. They also added this Kinder Surprise Eggs level music. After you talk to your friends, you are now given your first objective. Cook food for everyone!
Yes, the woman must do the labor, while Tinky Winky is king of them all.
The way to cook food for them is to use this machine, but alas, it's broken. Dipsy tells you how to fix it by pressing that button and getting a wrench, and again, you have to do that all by yourself. When you eventually feed everyone their custards, they all decide that it's time to go to sleep. Po agrees to get some rest, but however, this is the start of the infection. A few hours go by, and when everyone is asleep, Tinky Winky wakes up and breaks the fucking machine. Oh my god, do you know how long the woman had to take to fix that for you? Po wakes up seeing Tinky Winky leave, and this is your first major choice that will affect the gameplay dramatically. Would you take Lala with you, or go by yourself? Now, I thought long and hard about this, and I decided that I will assume that you chose to go by yourself. Don't worry, when the choice comes to play and affects the gameplay, I'll tell the alternative of what would happen if you brought Lala. But for now, we're gonna assume that you went alone. After a painstakingly long time of walking and doing nothing, you have now finally found Tinky Winky, and oh no! He turns into the spooky monster! Oh no, he turned ugly and spooky! I also love the dialogue here. Po just says, "Oh my god," and just runs. As you are running, you are now back in control of the character. You must run back to the house and wake up your friends. But alas, they're fucking dead. When you realize that your friends have been deceased, a weird moment plays in this game that I just don't like. Basically, you have to click arrows to turn the direction that you need to go to. So for a few minutes, the game is just a click the arrow video game. At some point as she's running, Po just locks herself onto something, and yet we can't seem to see it. That's because in the beta, there was originally a lamppost thingy there, and they just removed it and forgot to add it back. Oh my god. And this is truly just screaming inhuman reactions. Look at this. Yeah, did you know that Poe can fly?
Bruh.
All that effort to escape Tinky Winky, unfortunately, is all a waste of time because as soon as you see a tree that you somehow can't go around, you die. Leaving Chapter 1 to conclude. The game starts with a beeping sound saying that there is no signal, and here is where we play our main character, Walter White. Okay, I want to call him that, but we're actually going to call him Guardian, okay? That's what he's called. As you've heard from the description, the Guardian's plan is to get to the satellite station for help. However, before he does that, he needs to get the night vision camera, which is for some reason sealed up in a metal door thingy. And now the game starts. The Guardian's workplace seems to be some sort of sewer system where he monitors the 4 main Teletubbies. To be honest, I actually really like the concept here. How the 4 main Teletubbies think they're living normal lives, only for them to not realize that they're actually being monitored. And also, I think now is an appropriate time to talk about another one of Teletubbies' mechanics. The camera. Inspired by Silent Hill's camera angles, I'm guessing they try to replicate this as well, but in my opinion, it really isn't necessary for all these camera angles. I'd much rather play this game in first person rather than third person, but again, that is just my opinion. I also really like how the first minutes of Chapter 1 play out. You have to do a little puzzling and ingenuity to get to the night vision camera. Once you acquire the night vision camera, well, we have good news and bad news. Good news is, we're in first person. Bad news is... yeah. Now that the lights turned out, we encounter our first enemy, the newborns. The concept of the newborns is actually pretty simple. They're slow and blind, so as long as you're not in their way of where they're going via being behind boxes, you should be alright. However, because they're really slow, some parts of this are just tedious, and if you die, you have to wait for the newborns to get out of your direct line of sight all over again. It's very simple, and I feel like there could have been more to this. I don't know, maybe you could have used the objects around you to make a sound to lure them away from you. Thankfully, this part is actually very short, and as long as you're patient enough, you can make it to the ladder hatch. When you escape the sewer system through the ladder, we enter the mainland by... oh. Alright. Now that the Guardian is outside, his next objective is to get custards from various locations for research. Now, I thought this was going to be the Slender the Arrival thingy, where as soon as it hits Chapter 2, it begins essentially doing the Slender the 8 Pages thing. But no, the game already tells you where all the custards are, and you only have to collect 4 of them. To be honest, I'm a little disappointed that this bit doesn't do the main premise of Slendertubbies and Slenderman in general. Instead, it just feels like a chore to do because of how long it takes to get these custards. But I mean, I guess it's interesting in a way. You essentially explore the aftermath of what happened, and you figure out what happened to Poe. She fucking died. Once you are done collecting custards, you need to collect 1 more. But oh no! Tinky Winky is already there, the spooky man himself! And then some anime shit happens where the custard transforms into a super custard, and Tinky Winky consumes it from his chest, and oh noes! He becomes the spooky tank from Left 4 Dead 2. Oh noes! Now that all the custards are gone, we are now being chased by a fast, bulky, and strong purple guy, and you need to get out of there as fast as possible. And again, we have another major choice that will affect the gameplay. Will you go to the mountains or the cave? And again, I'll eventually say what happens in both options, but we're gonna assume that you went into the mountains. Although Tinky Winky seems deadly, his attacks are very slow, so as long as you just run in a straight line, you should be fine. After about a minute or 2 of us running to the cave, we have now made it, concluding Chapter 1. Chapter 2 begins with us walking on the mountains. Now, this is the middle point of the game, and we are now halfway there to getting to the satellite station. Now, I really love how the mountains play out in this game. It's very atmospheric, and I feel like there should have been more areas for the player to explore here, because it seems very linear, and there's only a couple places you can explore. I also really love the ambience here. It just makes me feel like I'm actually there. We unfortunately can't see that far due to the amount of snow that is blowing in our face right now, but as we are walking, we seem to hear some talking. If we explore further, the talking gets louder and louder until... you proceed to get kidnapped by a spooky Yeti nerd man. You can attempt to talk to the guy, but he will not respond. Time goes by, and when we wake up, we have no idea what has happened to us, but when we get a bearing of our surroundings, we see ourselves in this very unfamily-friendly place that is rated M for mature. With the amount of blood diseases that we are contracting every second staying in the pit, it becomes very clear that this is a food chamber. Nonetheless, we walk out of the chamber to see a recently lit fire and a robot cutting a tree. I don't know what the intention of the robot is, but it seems to me that this metallic machine is supposed to be some sort of comedic relief, because of how casually he talks to you, saying that you will be eaten by his master. Of course, the Guardian is quite angry, and he is having none of that, but the robot warns him. The robot says that if you escape, the Yeti will notice and will kill you, as well as the robot man himself. The Guardian advises him to escape with him, but he disagrees, and so our journey begins again. Now, Zealworks, you're probably not going to see this, but I would really love to see an option to keep the robot with you and make him follow us throughout the mountain part. That would have been really cool, as the robot is a very chill and casual character. But of course, as we leave, the Yeti notices and is most likely ripping the robot apart, so we need to move fast. And now there's another part of the game that plays out that could have been interesting if it were more complex. Basically, we make a choice whether to go left or right, and it seems that the Yeti uses echolocation, so he screams in random directions. Thankfully, we can hear whether the scream was left or right, so we need to make the choice of going the way that he didn't scream. Again, it's a neat concept, but I feel like it's a little too simple. Maybe he could have been chasing us while we were choosing, or how we could have gone first person and run wherever we liked. Thankfully, it's not that long, and we only have to do it like 5 times. Once we are out of reach of the Yeti's habitat, we can now leave the mountain through this gate. But alas, it's locked. But not only is it locked, we soon discover that we've lost our night vision camera. So we have to go back and find our camera and the tool to use to break the gate. By traversing through this gigantic ice lake, we eventually find our night vision camera. However, it is revealed that the screen is cracked. This is unfortunate, but beyond this discovery, we won't be exploring any other dark areas that require the night vision camera. Next, we need to find a tool, which could be found in the cabin? Thankfully, Jack Kell isn't in the cabin, and it seems to be long abandoned. However, it has a tool that could be used to break open the gate.